Don't forget to... Don't forget...
Hello and welcome to the weekly English practice from English Coaching Project.
Hello. My name's Rob and this is the weekly English practice from English Coaching Projects. And I'm sitting here in my reading corner, reading a magazine. Sometimes reading a magazine can be a problem, because magazines tend to flop. And, well, that's what this week's weekly English practice is about, actually. To flop. So we're going to talk about a man who sang on American Idol and was a complete flop, but in fact became a great success. And flip-flops at the White House. Would you wear flip-flops if you were invited to visit the White House or some other important event? And then we're going to go straight to the NBA and watch some flopping. And if you want to know what that means, read this week's weekly English practice.
I go crazy cause she looks like a flop, but she stings like a bee, like every girl in history. She bangs, I'm
Thank you.
wasted by the way
Thank
she...
you. You can't sing, you can't dance, so what do you want me to say?
This is Jen Giles providing the final goal for the Terps in their 12-10 win. She wills her way to the goal as the Terps won their 14th national title. Look at the roll dodge and the finish right there from Jen Giles. At number 3...
This pass picked off by Jefferson. And foul by Green. The City.
Marv, I know this for a fact. Jefferson is what we're doing called fronting. Jefferson, this wasn't that hard of a foul. It's not going to end the world. But Jefferson knows his team needs some energy.
Hey, you're back. Don't forget to listen to the text, read the text, and at the end of the text you've got some questions. Answer the questions. Give us your opinions, your ideas, and then send those ideas and opinions to your ECP coach. You can do that via email, you can do that via WhatsApp, you could write a letter on a piece of paper and then maybe fold that up into a paper aeroplane and just throw it at your ECP coach. See what they say. And why not record your voice? You can do that using WhatsApp. It's really easy. Or you can find a recording app on your phone or on your PC or on your tablet. It's great practice and your ECP coach can help you with your pronunciation. Thanks for watching. Have a great week and weekend. And see you soon. Bye.
When she moves, I go crazy cause she looks like a flop, but she stings like a bee.
Have you ever flopped? Perhaps in flip-flops? The word flop has several different meanings. For example, Boris Johnson has famously floppy hair. ECP coach Rob Hextall explores some other examples. A flop loved by everyone. One of the worst performances on American Idol the reality TV show where ordinary people get to showcase their artistic talents, was also one of the most popular. When William Hung auditioned by singing Ricky Martin's She Bangs, the panel of judges unanimously pilloried him. Simon Cowell said, "That's one of the worst auditions we've had this year." But William didn't care that he had been a big flop. He simply smiled and replied, "I gave my best, and I have no regrets at all." Initially, he was laughed at, but for some reason, perhaps because of his happy smile and innate optimism, his flop became an internet phenomenon, and his performance went viral. Soon, this failure was recording albums, appearing on chat shows, and even appearing in concerts with Janet Jackson and Maroon 5. People loved his flat, out-of-tone singing and imitated his awkward dancing. Nobody thought he was talented. They just loved that, when faced with ridicule, he simply smiled back and said, "I gave my best, and I have no regrets at all." The White House flip-flop scandal. Far from being flops, the Northwestern University women's lacrosse team were hailed as an incredible success story. Lacrosse is North America's oldest organized sport and was modified by European settlers from a centuries-old game played by the indigenous people of what is now Canada. It is played with a stick that has a net which is used to carry, catch, and throw the ball. The Northwestern University team was only created in 2001, but in an incredibly short time, they grew to dominate the sport and were US national champions for 5 consecutive seasons between 2005 and 2009. In 2005, the team was invited to the White House in recognition of their achievement, but the visit was a bit of a flop, as members of the team were criticized for wearing flip-flops when posing for the official photo with the then President, George W. Bush. Again, the story went viral. Apparently, at formal events, if you are a woman, wearing open-toed sandals is fine, but wearing flip-flops, even if you are a champion athlete, is considered inappropriate and disrespectful. What was the response of the women to this essentially sexist scandal? To turn up to every high-profile interview that they were invited to in coordinated and colourful flip-flops. Science shows that flopping is just part of the game. Footballers are often accused of diving, deliberately falling over or exaggerating a fall in an attempt to deceive the referee and be rewarded a foul or penalty. The equivalent in basketball is known as flopping. In 2012, flopping became a major issue in the NBA, with both fans and team owners complaining about the flagrant theatrical behaviour of a handful of players. Mark Cuban, the billionaire owner of the Dallas Mavericks, decided to employ a team of scientists, specifically biomechanics researchers, to get conclusive scientific proof that players were cheating. After over a year of recreating and simulating on-court impacts, the researchers came up with some interesting conclusions. Basically, if your feet are firmly planted on the ground, it is really easy to knock you over. So most flops are in fact inevitable falls. What turns a fall into a flop is if you unnecessarily flap and flail your arms as you fall. The natural instinct would be to use them to break your fall and to help you regain your balance. However, they noted, exaggerating the movement of your arms doesn't necessarily mean that it wasn't a foul in the first place. A foul is a foul, even if the player is guilty of histrionics. For Mark Cuban, this whole experiment about flopping was basically a flop in itself. He'd hoped to get concrete scientific proof that showed that flopping was deliberate cheating, but in the end, the science showed that, in fact, it is much easier than we thought to knock a player over. Flapping your arms as you fall might be flopping, but not all flopping is cheating. And here are this week's questions. Do you like watching talent shows on TV? Why? Why not? Describe how well or badly you sing and dance. Have you ever watched or played lacrosse? How do you think it is played? Is wearing flip-flops to formal events inappropriate or disrespectful? Why? Why not? What do you think about diving and flopping? Describe a moment when you failed or flopped.